welcome to this explainer. Today we're launching a forensic investigation into one of the most shocking and, frankly, expensive enterprise software failures in history. We're going to completely pull apart this incredibly costly mistake, figure out exactly why it happened, and then, most importantly, we'll reveal how this exact same pattern of failure is quietly destroying major enterprise AI deployments right now in 2026. Look, if you manage projects, products, or operations, you really cannot afford to miss these warning signs. 500 million euros. According to detailed investigations published by Handelsblatt and Computer Weekly back in August 2018, that is the exact amount of money spent on a single software implementation project over 7 grueling years. I mean, just let that sink in. It's an unbelievable amount of capital, time, and human energy poured into upgrading a system. And the result of that €500 million investment? The project was entirely abandoned, zero return. Okay, let's dive right into this. The company we're talking about is Lidl, the massive German discount supermarket chain and literally one of the largest food retail operations in the world. Back in 2011, they made a decision that looked exactly like enterprise IT best practice. They wanted to migrate from their old in-house legacy system known as WWS over to SAP, which is the absolute market leader in European retail ERP. So they launched Project ELWS, brought in hundreds of external consultants, and set out to standardize global inventory management. They basically assumed that any differences between their current processes and the new software could just be configured during the implementation. But as the Handelsblatt investigation revealed, they ended up throwing away that €500 million investment to go right back to the very in-house system they had just spent 7 years trying to replace.
Section 1. The root cause. Uncovering the architectural mismatch.
So, how does a world-class organization with basically endless resources fail so spectacularly? Well, it starts right here. And this brilliantly illustrates the core issue. As the Handelsblatt source documents, SAP's standard retail ERP manages inventory valuation using the retail method, meaning every single product is valued at its expected retail selling price. Now, that's the standard for most Western retailers. But in contrast, Lidl operates using the purchase price method. They value inventory at the price they actually paid to suppliers. This deeply dictates how their internal financial model works, how shrinkage is calculated, and really how their entire profit and loss is managed. I want to emphasize that this was not a minor configuration issue or just a missing button on a dashboard somewhere. It is the textbook definition of an architectural incompatibility. It's a fundamental clash between a software's baked-in data model and a company's actual operating model. When Lidl's implementation team tried to force SAP to operate on purchase price accounting, they basically hit a brick wall. SAP's retail module simply wasn't designed for it. Every single adaptation required bespoke, custom development, which, you guessed it, progressively stripped away all the standardization benefits of buying an off-the-shelf platform in the first place. Section 2. The forensic evidence. 7 years of warning signs. A massive catastrophic failure like this doesn't just happen overnight and in a vacuum. It leaves a very clear diagnostic trail, and as professionals, we need to examine this hard evidence to spot these red flags in our own projects. Let's walk through this timeline, which is drawn directly from Lidl's own 2018 press statement and contemporary reporting at the time. The project launched in 2011. By 2014, they were drowning in endless bespoke development, and by 2018, it was officially terminated. But you know what the most glaring fact is here? In those 7 years, there were 0 production deployments at scale. Think about that. Amazon launched AWS and had it operating commercially in months. Other European retailers were implementing SAP in 1 to 3 years. 7 years without a production deployment is not a sign of implementation complexity. It is a blaring neon diagnostic signal of a fatal fit failure, consuming all available project bandwidth. The profound irony of this outcome is just striking. As noted by Computer Weekly at the time, Lidl didn't go back to their old legacy system because it was technologically superior or, had a flashier interface. It was retained because it was architecturally compatible with how Lidl's business actually runs. That old, unglamorous system successfully answered the fundamental fit question, a question that the shiny new €500 million project methodology had completely ignored until it was way too late. Section 3. The Enterprise AI Parallel, repeating the 500M mistake today. Let's move to and see how this builds our understanding of the present moment. We're doing a sharp pivot here, connecting Lidl's 2018 ERP disaster directly to the crisis happening right now, today, in 2026 enterprise AI deployments. Just look at this stark finding from the MIT NANDA 2026 project. 95% of AI initiatives fail to reach production scale. And why? because the systems lack architectural robustness, governance structure, and integration depth. This absolutely proves that the exact same fit failure mode that crushed Lidl is currently destroying AI deployments at a massive scale. The AI models aren't necessarily wrong, but the AI that works flawlessly in a small pilot is fundamentally clashing with how the organization actually operates in production. Modern AI project management tools, as the MIT NANDA 2026 source highlights, carry hidden, baked-in assumptions derived from their training data and their feature architectures. These AI systems naturally assume certain project structures, specific ways status flows through an organization, how risk gets flagged, how teams coordinate, and even who holds decision-making authority. So, if your actual operational model differs from the model baked into the AI's training data, you are walking straight into an architectural mismatch. This brings us to what the Deloitte State of AI in Enterprise 2026 report calls the acceleration readiness gap. This data demonstrates that we are looking at a systemic industry crisis right now. Companies are blindly rushing to deploy agentic AI, which, by the way, is projected to jump from 23% adoption to 74% in just 2 years, without even checking if these advanced tools actually fit their day-to-day operational reality. So, the crucial point is this. Let's break down these rather dismal readiness metrics from Deloitte's 2026 survey. Governance readiness sits at 30%, technical infrastructure at 43%, data management at 40%, and talent at just 20%. Organizations are enthusiastically signing massive AI contracts and launching these huge transformation programs when their internal readiness metrics are deeply underwater. They are adopting the technology without the operational models to actually support it, which is exactly what Lidl did.
Section 4. Fit Before Commit 3-Question Framework. It's time to talk solutions. To avoid becoming the next €500 million cautionary tale in your industry, leaders and project managers must pause and ask 3 crucial, non-negotiable questions before signing any AI contract. Question number 1. What operational model did this AI assume when it was built? You really have to dig beneath the marketing brochures and the product specs. You need to uncover the vendor's baked-in operational assumptions before doing anything else. What data was it trained on? And what does it fundamentally assume about how work gets done in your business? Question number 2. Does that model match how we actually operate today? And listen, this requires brutal honesty. You must contrast the baked-in model of the AI tool against your company's real-world, messy day-to-day operations, not against the shiny aspirational goals written on a whiteboard in the boardroom. Question number 3. If there is a gap, is it bridgeable with simple configuration, or is it a deep architectural incompatibility? Remember the core lesson of this explainer. Lidl spent 7 excruciating years and €500 million trying to answer this exact question, only to find out far too late that the gap was completely unbridgeable. This brings us to the core takeaway I want you to remember from this explainer. FIT before commit. The organizations that are going to get the most out of AI in the coming years are absolutely not going to be the ones that deploy the fastest. They are going to be the ones that rigorously test for architectural fit before scaling a pilot, and certainly before signing a massive enterprise-wide contract. I'll leave you with this provocative thought as we wrap up this explainer. Look around your organization today. Where is the fit question still completely unanswered in your current AI deployments? Take a hard look at the tools you're rolling out right now and apply this forensic lesson immediately before your project becomes the next big case study. Thank you so much for joining me for this analysis, and keep asking those tough questions.